Has your inner voice ever said, "Who do you think you are?" Today, I want to talk about imposter syndrome. Every single one of us has an imposter. I have my own. Y'all probably have your own. And one of the most common ones that I often deal with, especially as I'm doing this YouTube channel, which is very scary for me and uncomfortable. One of the things that I constantly hear in my own head is, who do you think you are doing XYZ? Now, I know I'm not the only one that hears this. And I also want to talk a little bit about the cultural connotation behind why we would hear something like our inner voice saying, "Who do you think you are?" when we have an idea around maybe a business or a creative idea or something in terms of our work that we want to do. So in the US, there's this term called model minority, and it's specifically tied to people who identify as Asian. The essence that I've heard when it comes to the idea of model minority is this particular group is considered to be the model for all immigrants coming to United States. Now, this is so extremely detrimental to not just the Asian community, but any other immigrant. One, it divides us from other groups because we're all immigrating to this country and are probably going to experience similar things in terms of microaggressions, bias, discrimination, but it sort of puts this weird tier on one is better than the other, and so it inherently internally divides us in between groups, which is never okay. The other thing that it does is it puts so much pressure on the group that is considered model minority that if you are part of that group and you don't quote unquote succeed or make it, you are going to feel that internal pressure to be perfect and strive for perfection. And we all know there is no such thing as perfection, so all we're doing is creating more anxiety and more impact on our mental health and well-being. So as a South Asian woman, I definitely have an inner voice. My inner voice tells me a lot of different things, some negative, some positive ones. But the negative ones seem to be when it comes to an idea, whether it's creative or a business idea or anything that's pushing me a little bit out of my comfort zone. One of the first things that I hear in my head when it comes to the negative side is this notion of, who do I think I am? And I've often come to realize that that is directly looking into or rubbing up against this model minority where we're supposed to conform. We're not supposed to ruffle any feathers, where we're not supposed to really change the status quo, if you will. And so when I have an idea that is pushing the envelope or that's pushing my own comfort zone, my inner critic is gonna take me to the side of, no, we can't make any change. But instead of saying just, we can't make any change, it takes this very guilt and shame approach and tells me, who do I think I am? If you experience something similar, recognize the cultural notions that may be layered to why you're hearing that particular thing. Maybe that's a voice that you've heard from your caregivers. Maybe it's your own voice. Maybe you've heard someone else say that to you. It is important to acknowledge the negative voice and acknowledge what it's saying, but it's also important to take a moment and pause and really think about, how true is that statement of who do I think I am? Maybe I'm nobody, but does it mean that I can't take any action on the idea that I had? Not really, because if I'm nobody, then I can take the risk. I want y'all to take the risk as well and allow your negative voice to be acknowledged, but not acknowledged so much to the point where you don't take any action. Know that we all have an inner critic, and know that it's layered to our lived experience and our cultural gender identity markers, and it's even more deeper than just the voice that we hear. It's important for us to acknowledge them, but remember, don't stop your action just because the voice is there. Let me know in the comments below, what are some of your negative voices that you hear when you have an idea that's creative or exciting that you want to try? How does your negative voice sort of sabotage, if you will? How does that stop you? If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and follow me at the Indian Counselor on social media.